more and more people are using cell phones. That's just become really common in our life, right? It's kind of something we have to carry.
Out of 7 billion people in the world, as the most recent count, 5 billion mobile phone connections. That accounts for 77% of the world population.
Statistic, there's like the penetration of cell phone in America reaches like 103%. That means there are more people who have multiple phones.
50% of the population in all the African countries have a cell phone. The rate of growth is 20% a year, so it's actually accelerating.
How much time do people spend like talking on the phone? Well, we know phone is for talking, right?
Talk time on cell phone is going down. People on an average day, they only tend to spend about 27 minutes, and that's only about a third of the time that they spend using a cell phone. People spend most of the time gaming. Social networking is the number 2 activity, and also the number 3 activities is utilities and looking for information, such as using the maps to try to navigate, find something.
So how do it use as a professional journalist use cell phone to tell stories?
The reporters would use the cell phone they would go to an event, they would go to maybe an area that just went through a natural disaster, and they would use their cell phones to basically stream live video from the event.
And where are you broadcasting it to? The internet. Wow. So what's this website?
Does it matter? Probably 2 minutes or 2 hours ahead of the traditional news organizations. Do people really care about I first heard this?
The life cycle of a story, the evolution of a story, at least in America, media consumption patterns suggest that first contact with a story may very well be through tweets or through Facebook postings, through various social media, but the pattern then spreads out and expands, ironically, back to traditional media. Yeah. So people have their first contact with a story, but it's important to remember it's not their only contact.
One of the, I think, most important jobs for journalists is to promote democracy. I think cell phone really gave people the power to voice their opinions. Probably a few years ago, we were talking about backpack journalism, that you have a bag of equipment. Nowadays, we're talking about just one cell phone, smartphone.
Yeah.
Who knows what's going to happen next year?